My name is Timothy de Jesus.
Hi everyone, Aldrich here.
Hello folks, it's Kevin Kwok here.
Hi, this is Jeremy C. I just wanted to say this about bottoms-up perspectives. It's about real lives, real journeys, and real perspectives.
The whole idea behind bottoms-up perspective was from the word kampai, or in Asian culture, oftentimes we drink until the bottom of our cup is empty and we turn it over. So it's very much like just cheers, right? And building relationship. And that's what we're all about, is building authentic, solid relationships on a global level and being able to see things from a global perspective.
And no, we're not Alcoholics Anonymous.
We are here to be the voice of everyone.
I love the idea that we're real people and we get to share our experiences with real people just like you.
So we look forward to having you join us. What's going on, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube? So this is episode 40 of our perspective, and we have Yoda here with games. Our guest Kenneth joined us all the way from Singapore. So we could talk a little about gaming tonight, which I am the worst gamer here probably. So I think Eldrick can beat me. So I guess let's get started here, and I go ahead and have Kenneth introduce yourself, what you do, and how you got into gaming.
All right. Hi, I'm Kenneth, and I'm a marketing manager by day at the Singapore campus of James Cook University. But that's just the day job, right? So after hours, when I get home, that's when the gaming starts.
All right.
I'm more of a PC gamer. So I used to own an Xbox, but that was ages ago. I think that was the Xbox 360. But PC gaming is my kind of thing. Yeah.
All right. You want to show us your T-shirt?
Oh yeah. I've got the Space Invaders tee today, fitting in with the team.
Yeah. So I have the same thematic approach as well for T-shirts. So check this out.
Awesome.
Yeah. Know your mushrooms. This is the big 4-0 episode, and made some changes to it specifically for today, right? and check out my hashtag.
old gaming guy.
Old gaming guy.
So it looks like a lot of people are hopping on. So just want to say hi to everyone. Thanks for joining us, Jake. Haven't seen you for a while, so good to see you. And then looks like Jeff came on. More people are coming on. I want to say hi to Candace. Thanks for joining our show. And Junette, I believe you're cooking dinner, but thanks for joining us. So good stuff. So don't burn your dinner tonight. So so let's get started here. And I guess my first question is to get started is, do you play video games, right?
I think it depends on the time horizon, right?
Okay. Let's frame it right. So hands up for those who played video games yesterday. Yesterday, no. So that's half of us, right? How about at least in this year?
It depends on games, I guess.
Right. Oh, okay.
Depends on games, like
because it's whatever game it counts, right? I mean, video games, right? Video games, be it mobile games, on a console or on a PC, right? So yeah. So
do you consider trading a game? It's on my PC.
Okay.
I play with people who wanna.
Actually, that's a good perspective. Trading, looking at trading as a game, but there's like real profits, right? Or is it one of those dummy accounts?
No. The real one.
So it depends. Yeah, so it depends on how you see it, right? So if you view it as a game, so yeah, why not, right? Trading as a game. Okay,
Sure.
so in normal tradition, I go first, right? Do you play video games, right?
Go for it.
So you guys sure you want me to go first? Because I could turn into a mega episode, 4 hours back to back,
Go for it.
all by myself.
Yeah, go. Just go. It's fine.
Yeah. Yes. Obviously, I do play video games, and honestly, I mean, you guys can tell by now this was the topic I picked and chose, right? uh, Specific for Kenneth. So I have a long history with video gaming. I think I was like, I don't know, 7, 8 years old, 9, I can't remember. And my first experience with video gaming was with the Atari set, Pong and all that, Pac-Man, and the really, really first version of Mario Brothers, really the blocky ones jumping around. So that was my first, and then it slowly went into the usual gang, right? Nintendo system, and then Super Nintendo system, the Sega. What came after that? Super Nintendo, Sega, might not be in chronological order, right? Then PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. I only got PlayStation 4 a couple of years back. I was late because I was really angry with PlayStation because I bought a bunch of games on PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 is not backward compatible. So I boycotted it for a while. I finally decided to get it about 2 years ago, I think. And PlayStation 5 is out of stocks everywhere. Scalpers are selling it like twice the price. I'm not getting it because my PlayStation 4 has not been fully utilized yet. Oh, I got a Pro one, by the way. So I'm waiting for PlayStation 5 Pro. And that makes sense because when you wait for the Pro in like 3 or 4 years later, all the games will be much cheaper, right? So that's what I experienced with PS4. So I'm going to do that for PlayStation 5. Yes, so I do play video games, PC as well. So I would describe myself as really, really passionate gamer. I play everything except anything on Xbox. I own the Switch as well. So really everything I probably have. And the only game I don't play, the only type of game I don't play, I think, is golf. Anything on golf. That's my no-no. Apart from that, yeah, probably everything I play, yeah. So I'm just going to stop there before I take up time. So maybe, Kenneth, you want to go next?
Sure. I think my foray into gaming came from those old school text adventure games back in the day on the floppy disks and stuff like that. So
that's called MUD, right? That's the MUD, right? The MUD thing.
Those really
MUD.
old school MUD. I think mine was some very old school games. I remember the first one I played was Beauty and the Beast, some sort of text adventure game.
What?
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
I've not even heard of that.
It wasn't even the regular floppy disk. It was the older, bigger, really floppy disk. 5 inch?
Yeah, there's a 5 inch. Yeah.
Yeah, so those.
I remember those.
You had a couple of discs to go through. Yeah, so those were the old school computer games. But then I moved on to the Game Boy, the original blocky gray one. That's when I started playing all the back then you couldn't afford the fancy cartridges, so got those 150 games in one kind of things. But then slowly progressed on to the Pokemon. That was the one that really got me deep into gaming because it was a whole continuous series and stuff. And then I moved on to the PC side of things.
Right.
Yeah, then tried the Xbox because I really liked Halo. Played Halo Combat Evolved and 2 and really loved that. Then moved back to PC again because the issue with consoles is over time you have newer games coming out and then the graphics, they're kind of limited.
You cannot catch up. Yeah.
So much better, you can upgrade your graphics card and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
PC is the way to go.
But at work, I work. The good thing about work now is there's a
You
game
get to play
museum
game.
where I work.
Just play
Sorry?
game at work.
Oh no. There's a
Don't
game
be
museum
shy,
at
Kenneth.
my
Don't be
workplace.
shy. It's okay. No one knows.
Tell the truth, okay?
Yeah. Don't be shy. It's okay.
Yeah, okay, sometimes. Yeah, so the game museum at work is interesting. So I got to play the Atari for the first time, which is like everyone talks about it because it's like a pop culture icon. But actually getting to play Space Invaders on it, but goodness, and even back then, the consoles is, I think it's a problem with consoles. Pac-Man on the Atari is so it's quite bad. It's like flickering all the way. The graphics isn't good enough. Yeah, that was what 1977. So it's a problem with consoles since the 70s till today, right?
Yep.
Yeah, back those days there was like arcade cabinets.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's I think the first how video games started, right, with arcade cabinets. Yeah, it's only a specific place you can go to play, and you have the whole range there. And back then the range was really limited. But anyway, yeah, go on. That was actually why I thought you'd be a good person for this topic, because I saw the gaming museum, right, in the university. So would you care to share with us, why there was this gaming museum in the university? Any reason?
It's really because we have a lecturer who is really crazy about games.
Not you.
No. I didn't set it up. I'm just helping him out. He's the real curator there.
Oh my gosh.
So he teaches about gaming, and it becomes like a repository of knowledge now. If any student wants to do a reference and or level design, I think Super Mario is always a case study. They can just go in and do research.
Yeah.
What about Eldrick? Love to hear your experience.
Trading.
No, let's stick to video games. I grew up not having that kind of consoles at home. So I think as I was growing up in the 80s and the early 90s, if I play, I have to go to an arcade, a video game arcade. So I don't know if that's the term in the US, but what I really enjoyed was the people, the energy, and it was like a box. It's like a box and a TV screen, and then there are buttons and a joystick. So I think on and off, I do go to the arcade and play like fighting games so that you can compete with the person next to you. And as I remember, my favorite games were Street Fighter and the first version of King of Fighters. I think it was 94. So King of Fighters 94.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, I think the year that I remember very vividly was 1994. I was taking my PSLE, and that was the year where it was the inaugural competition around Singapore for King of Fighters, because they were looking for champions in the various countries around Asia to get to Tokyo to compete. Ooh. So each country, the first, second, and third will get a free ticket. I forgot what's the lodging, and we'll go there to do. I managed to sneak myself in. I forgot what is third or second, but the trouble is that competition is 1 week after PSLE. Like,
that's fine. It was not during PSLE. That's fine.
No, so that 2 months leading towards. Oh, by the way, Kevin, PSLE stands for Primary School Living Examination. So it's the examination where we clear that, we go to secondary school, which is your middle school. So it's a national exam, and that 2 months I was torn in between, like, shit, I have to go to the arcade to practice. But I need to study. I was like, and I was like, okay. So I went off, and then I think it didn't sit too well with my mom. My mom was like, you have an exam, and you're telling me you're going to play games because you have to go somewhere.
No. It's for de-stressing and decompressing.
So I told my parents, I said, I'm really very stressed out. Please don't disturb me. I'm not gonna do any housework. I have to go to the arcade now. And then my dad would be like, huh? You're stressed out? You're going to the arcade? What are you talking about? Yeah, so that was the thing that I remember. Other than that, I don't think so. On and off, I think I play some games. On and off. I think I played the most when I was in junior college or so, because the lectures are outright boring. Just for the knowledge of the audience, I studied history, geography. So I was like, oh. So I had my Nokia 8820 under the desk. I was playing
Snake.
So while I was staring at the screen, my fingers were like playing Snake. I was like looking down, like those were the days. And after that, it didn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
It's either I'm extremely bored or there's some competition that I'm going after. That's it. My experience.
That's awesome. So my experience is similar to Eldrick. So I remember the arcade. So I grew up in Hong Kong. So I came to the States when I was 6. So in Hong Kong, I remember as a little boy, my mom would take me to the arcade, and then you put money in and you play, right? So that was in the 80s, and then slowly we had the Atari. But my sister's 7 years older than me. So she got the system, but not me. So, I envy and wanted to play, but I didn't get into play gaming until the Nintendo, the original Nintendo. So the only game I ever beat was probably Mario Brother and Zelda, right?
Oh,
Back in the days. And then I think when the system after the original Nintendo, that's when I kind of stopped gaming until recently. My 8-year-old wanted, a system, so we got him an Xbox about probably a couple years ago, and then last Christmas we bought the Switch. So because we thought, hey, it's easier for them because they're younger, and also while we're driving for trips and stuff, the Switch they can still play the console. So I got there's Minecraft and stuff, but for me during COVID, the game that I got really attached to, so I play a lot of basketball, physical basketball, like real basketball. So I play on a Monday night men's league because I play a little basketball back in high school and stuff. So I enjoy it. And so I got into NBA 2K. And so during COVID, it allows me to still have that competition. And it has that real life feel to it. So for me, it's kind of my pastime when I'm stressed at night. I'll just play NBA 2K and then turn on some music, and I would just play. So it allows me to get that adrenaline going. So, but it's probably not good if you're trying to lose weight because you're really not. And I always play the 90s teams, like the old Celtics, the Michael Jordan, the Bulls championship team. And then I'll play against, like LeBron and, so it makes it enjoyable. But that's kind of as far as I get regards to gaming. But as we're talking about this, gaming is actually, it plays a big part in the business world today, right?
Does it?
So esports is huge, especially in the US. Huge. And I know in China as well, right? There's a lot of money in even gaming. So I want to kind of talk about what are some positives that you feel you can learn from gaming?
Oh, so many. So many. I just want to backtrack a little bit, I forgot to mention the very important system called the Wii, right? That changed everything for Nintendo.
That one, right?
Yeah, Wii. So I had to go back there and Mega Man. And I also wanted to mention about NBA 2K, right? So Kevin, I think I play it too, but I probably play it very differently from you. I launched the game every day. For what? I play it as a buying and selling game to make money, in-game money. So I play it as a trading cards game. So I will go into the auctions, buy the cheap cards and then sell it for profit, in-game profit. So that's how I play it. it's one of those weird things. I game in the game kind of thing, and I like to play this kind of trading, buy low, sell high. I used to do that on World of Warcraft. So I had a list of materials or weapons that I bought cheap. I monitor the price. I fix it on a few, and then I buy low, sell high, and make in-game currency. So that's another way of playing. So back to your original question, right? So much to learn. You learn not to give up. You learn tenacity. You learn what it feels to fail and just keep going at it until.
I love the way you say all these things, man. Oh my gosh, this is.
Yeah,
it's blowing
true.
my mind. Okay.
It's true.
Brilliant entertainment for the last day of the year. Okay.
Hey, I'm passionate about this. No, I've been gaming my whole life. So really, yeah, really. And I want to say this. I always tell people who have young children, right? I always tell people who have young children, gaming is good for your kids. Why? Because look at me. Look at those guys who game, right? Your child will not turn into a delinquent if they do gaming. Very low chance. Because they're right in front of you. Okay, back to the business one. I did a bit of sidetrack there. I sidetracked a little bit. Okay. Actually, for me, it really helped me in my work. Why do I say that? Because part of my work, in the past, maybe not so much now, but it's still sometimes it needs me to do it. What I'm talking about is team building. So I get to organize, annual kickoffs, that kind of thing. Particularly my time in China, I do think about team building games, and that's where my gaming knowledge helps me, because it suddenly makes it very easy to think about, how to gamify and exercise, how to do the scoring, the gaming mechanics, how you involve like 400 people in a team game. You break people into groups, and so all these things helped because gaming helped me. All these things because it trained me into that kind of a strategic thinking and mindset, and so that really helped me in my work. In terms of building up team building games. And I touch a bit about personal development there also, tenacity and all that good stuff. And I think in recent years, there's a term called Souls-like game. Those games are crushingly hard, right? From the games Demon Souls. And the trick for those games really is they really crush you, because you'll die and die and die and die and die. Everything is fixed, right? But you keep dying because you need to learn the system, you need to learn the attacks of the bosses and all that. And then that is one thing I also learned from gaming, right? The reason I am so engaged in gaming is actually this. If I had to put the reason behind it, is this. The world is always changing, even more so in 2020 when we experienced all this whole COVID pandemic situation. However, so I have always been retreating into gaming. Audrey, why are you laughing? It is true. This is really why I do gaming. I retreat into the gaming world because in the gaming world, it's ones and zeros. Everything is fixed. It's digital. It's ones and zeros. The rules are fixed. Yes, you want to talk about patches and all that, that's fine. But most importantly, the rules are sort of fixed, always. And you know that for every effort or training that you do in the game, you get better every day.
Jeremy, it's kind of like social media.
It's kind of like
the rules are fixed. Hey, for those of you out there that are watching this, social media is the same thing. The rules are fixed, okay?
Yes, but similar to social media, if you put in the effort, you get the reward, you get the satisfaction, you get that fulfillment and achievement. So that's one of the main reasons why I restrict gaming, because I know in the gaming world, if I put hard work into it, most of the time, you'll get the achievement, you beat the boss or whatever it is, you clear the level. In real life, it might not be that way. You can put in all the hard work you want, probably not. But social media, you're right. Yeah, it's sort of like gaming as well, but maybe a little bit more finicky because people is involved.
You can never beat the big boss on social media.
the owner of LinkedIn.
Mark Zuckerberg still wins.
No, the algorithm always wins.
Algorithm always wins.
So
And
okay,
that's
that's my sharing. Yeah,
But that's
go ahead,
how
Kenneth.
people, they do the speed runs. They basically
Oh yeah,
figure out the rules and the algorithms, and they kind of find the glitches and they break the glitches. So there are people who complete entire
Yeah.
games in a couple of hours and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
they actually discovered the rules and the algorithms behind it. It's just like how people do the growth hacking, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess it's the same thing. And one thing about the gaming is I think it helps with problem solving, especially. There are some games that don't really give an overt tutorial. They just give it there. There's maybe subtle hints in the music when you hear a music. Oh, the boss is going to do an attack, or if before they attack they make a certain move. Then you pick up on these little things, and over time you realize, maybe after dying a lot of times and restarting the game to the last save point, then you start to realize and pick out these little things. So I think this helps with the problem solving aspect. And I think that's something good about gaming.
Practice makes perfect. Yeah, practice makes perfect.
Yeah, the persistence part, I totally agree with Jeremy, because I mean, if you are not going to be persistent, you're just going to give up on the game. Then you'll be paying for content that you didn't complete. I think that's the thing that drives you, right? You buy a game, then you don't complete the boss battle, you don't complete the side quest because it's too difficult. Essentially, it's quite unique in a sense as a form of entertainment. You're paying for something, and then imagine the creation the movies tell you, if you don't get this reference, you have to leave the cinema right now. But in gaming, if you're not good enough, you're not going to see the ending. Yeah. So it's quite a really unique circumstances for gaming. I guess you either get good, or you pay for something and you don't get to go to the ending. Whereas if you read a book, for example, you can just flip to the end. This happened. Yeah, so I think it's one way that motivates you. And I think a lot of the games I play, I get those that are more story focused. It actually really helps with the storytelling. And as a marketer, there are some games where I like one of the original Halos and Portal. They, instead of asking you to go into the settings, and some people like to invert the mouse, sliding it up brings it down. It's just like these people are a little bit, to me, they are nuts. These are the pilot wannabes, I guess.
Yeah, correct.
So I think in Portal and Halo, they ask you to just they'll tell you to look up, then you just move, and then they set your settings for you just like that. So they merge it into the gameplay as part of the story. So I think in marketing, if it's too or sales, it's too obvious that you're trying to market and sell to someone, and people's like, are you trying to sell me something? But if you watch an advertisement, hey Tim,
Hey,
if you watch an advertisement or you get a pitch, and then you realize it's so engaging that you don't even realize you're being sold to. I think that translates into the real world and the business as well, I guess.
Yep. That's good. So Tim, just catch you up. So we're just talking about what are things we can learn from gaming.
gotcha.
So yep. So
I think we let Audrey go first, right? Let's let Tim get his thoughts.
Yeah, I had this massive headache. I literally just woke up. It was crazy. So.
no,
It's okay, don't worry, Tim.
he was actually gaming.
Last day of the year.
He was finishing.
He was gaming the night
I
before.
wish, man. I wish. No, it was bad. All of a sudden, I just passed out of nowhere. I literally just woke up.
No, it happens. So
What's the topic? What's the topic again? What
So
can we learn from
What can we
gaming?
learn from
what can we
video
learn
games?
from gaming?
Oh,
Aldrich?
okay. I think it's about recognizing patterns. Because it's like if you're playing against someone, then you will inevitably realize that there's only so many patterns the person can have. It's like playing a chess game. Then you start to decipher that, they like to move the pawns first, they like to move that first and this first. So once you start piecing the way they think about the response to every move that you make, you tend to be like, I can like bury him right from the start. I think that's one thing, and it gets into, to me, it gets really fascinating when you look at the moves, and then you'll be like, hey, I can decipher the psychic of this person. Is he playing to destroy the whole thing, or is he playing to defend, or is he out to just test you out? So I think that is the part that's fun, and that is the part where you or rather for me, I get to understand like the person better, the human mind better. Like if I do this move, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna do something expected? If it is, then okay, that's good. So I can move on to the next one, and I can bait or trap him, and things like that. I think that part has a lot of carryover to the work that we all do, which is good. It's like if you have a discussion with your boss and you can like piece all those things out, you'll be like, no worries, I got all his permutations. He's finished. So that's one thing. Other than that, and
Mortal
I think
Kombat, right?
Such patterns.
Finish him.
Yeah.
Finish him.
Such patterns we can really see in aggregation is like when we play games, like if we don't play like I don't know what you call it, the RPG or like multiple people playing the same game. As the number of people increases, you realize that the response becomes more diverse. And I see that, and I look at, let's say, the any form of financial markets, it's the same thing. There's always a domino effect. You just have to watch out for that very first one or the second one, and then you can protract what's going to happen. You can react and respond to that ahead of time. So I think that's the fun part. I don't think there's any, for me, I don't think there's any element of personal growth or professional growth or whatever. It is what it is. And I want to say something about what Jeremy just mentioned, which made me laugh and I teared very hard. Because if I remove you from the screen and I replace your word of game to any other hot trends that I've heard, this is as if I'm listening to a pitch from an entrepreneur asking for financing. So I was laughing. I was like, wow, what's this? How am I listening to a pitch right in the morning?
So all those game developers out there, if you have a game idea that need me to pitch, come look for me. You know where to find me. This is the business application.
You can pitch.
I can pitch the hell.
Financier.
I can pitch the hell out of your game, man. I can pitch the hell out of your game.
Then why aren't you doing it?
But of course, it has to be good in the first place to make me believe that it's good enough, right?
Then
I
you're
have
not
to be
doing
soaked
it.
too. I know I'm in the wrong.
Real life game. You're still
Okay,
playing the virtual.
Listen to me. I'm in the wrong industry for sure. Okay, but my first job. But to be honest, I did pursue my passion for gaming in my first job. Okay, when I finished my school from Polytechnic, I actually went into a retail job, which was really running a video game arcade. Okay, so it's in the middle of it was in the middle of the Pasir Ris Chalet. It's a huge family entertainment arcade. So you had pool table, you had all your UFO catching machine, you had a lot of video games. Okay, so I was actually running that place with two middle-aged aunties. So I was the boss there. I ran that whole place, so I could play any game I wanted, all the Daytonas I wanted. I just opened the key and clock as many games I want to play. So I actually pursued that and did that for 3 months. Then I switched to my other passion, which was what I studied, which was advertising. So that's the little piece for you. So I didn't pursue that retail track of retail. So you're right, Aldrich. If I had a choice, I would be doing a few things, right? I would have been a game reviewer. I thought about doing game reviews. I thought about doing like a YouTube channel reviewing games, but everyone's doing that, so I can't be the Ryan game review, toy review person for video games. That market's taken up. So that's a good suggestion, right? So
Jeremy, you can be the old gaming guy.
No, seriously, right?
The old guy review.
No, that space been taken up. Nintendo Dad. Just one of the sites where the parent do reviews for games and all that. So I think I'll take Audrey's suggestion, right? Or whichever gaming developers out there, mobile games whatsoever. But I don't have a preference for mobile games. So let me know. I'll pitch the hell out of your game. Okay.
What about you, Tim?
I think in my life, a lot of what I've learned from video games has to do with like tenacity and sticking through something. And I think there is value in that because, like when I was a kid, you would run up against a game that you couldn't beat, but you would just keep playing it and keep playing it and keep playing it until you finally freaking beat the damn thing. And sometimes it would take weeks, but you got it done. And, I think that's a valuable skill in life. Because obviously that leads to finishing projects. And, obviously like in sales, especially, you need tenacity because you're going to hear no a lot. So, for me personally, I think that's the biggest lesson I've learned from video games is just to, once you get knocked down, you get up, you keep trying, you get knocked down, you get up, you keep trying, and eventually you get it. And, there are certain games that I never finished, and that applies to life too, right? If a game is just, it's taking up too much time, it's not fun, move the hell on. So I think those are my lessons from video games.
Yep. So I agree. I'm similar to Tim. I'm not big on, I haven't been big on gaming. I wouldn't say I have much experience with it. But from what I see is it definitely helps with creativity. I see my kids, kids nowadays can solve problems a lot quicker than us back in the old days because I think the technology they have available. And I do see, hey, just trying to beat a level, the persistence is big. But that's my take because I can't say much because I don't have the experience. But yep. Go ahead.
I'll go after you. Go ahead first. You complete what you have to say first.
No, but I think it does teach. Gaming today, I think takes gaming to a whole different level, though. Because back in my days, it was pixelated. It looks like a game. Nowadays, a lot of it looks real. Like my mother, till this day, every time I play NBA 2K, she thinks it's like a real basketball game.
Yeah.
And I keep explaining to her, Mom, this is fake. Oh, she's like, oh, you're watching basketball again. I go, no, I'm playing a game. I'm not watching basketball. So, and then now you got, Oculus and everything, right? Mm-hmm. And it kind of leads to, our next conversation. And I know Jeremy has more to say too. But I really want to bring up and I think there's a lot of audience that were on here, is the future of gaming, right? So being a marketer, I've been I'm not a gamer myself, but I've been watching the gaming market because it's relatable to the marketing field. And the amount of purchasing done through gaming and advertising is huge, and especially during COVID, I mean, you can't do a lot of things. So I bet gaming sales went crazy during the holidays because what can you do to escape? You can play games. The gaming stores were filled with lines of people. Everyone's buying games. And then the esport, right? When you can't play football or basketball, esports taking off too. And people are winning money in the U.S. Kids. So, I mean, there's a whole other side of gaming. I know even within LinkedIn itself, right? You have a group of people that are on Twitch and, it's really big. And there is another social media platform that gamers are on. So, same thing, Jeremy, you mentioned YouTubers. So, let's talk about that a bit too. And the relevance of the future of gaming and where from a business side. And yeah.
Yep. So before we go into the future of gaming, can I just pull back a little bit back on the whole topic on what we learn, right? I think you Kevin, you mentioned about creativity, and that triggered something on with me. I think there is a lot to learn from gaming in also the point of the devil is in the details, and in terms of all the different artwork and all. Because let's look at it this way: if you look at gaming as a form of art, just like movies, right? Art imitates life. And these days, a lot of video games are trying to be very much like real life. And there are really, really good games that go down to the minutest of details. Case in point, Grand Theft Auto. I think it is still holding the record of the best-selling game ever in history on launch day. I think $500 million, something like that. So it's mainstream now. Gaming is mainstream, like it or not. Okay. I think it was Grand Theft Auto 4. It was not even 5. In the game, I like to muck around and do all sorts of things, not the real actual game itself in the story, So in this game, there are people walking around, we call them NPCs, non-playing characters. So this is the game. This is the game of being a gangster, doing what you like, robbing people, going bank heists and stealing cars. So I just followed one of these non-playing characters around, and I just followed, see what this person is doing. And this character, which is controlled by the computer, stands in front of a ATM machine. So I wait for the person is done with the ATM and walks away, and I murdered this guy. And guess what? A lot more money dropped out than if I murdered an ordinary person. That's details for you. Because usually when I just murder anyone on the street, it just pops up like one deck of cash. But this guy pops up 3 decks of cash. So those are the kind of details that I think it teaches us something, really. And I won't even go into details about artworks and how fascinating some of these artwork looks. So I think that is one thing we could take away and learn from in business, right? The devil is in the details, right? So now back to future of gaming. So much.
Hopefully that wasn't taken out of context. Imagine someone logs in and hears you say, "Usually when I murder someone."
you hear the siren.
I always tell people the reason I have a screen here is because I have dead bodies behind, so that I don't want people to see. So anyway, future of gaming, a lot to talk about because in my field, in retail, right, and I think in business, more and more you hear this term, gamification, right? Gamification. So everything you do now is trying to get you into playing a game, right? You have an app that tells you in Singapore, right, that you take 1,000 steps a day. Oh, you move this little icon, you unlock an achievement. It's just to get you to be more healthy, right? You go on a loyalty program, right? They have some form of gamification on apps, right? And mostly, in retail, they do this kind of gamification to attract people to come into the store. They have VR, AR, all this involves you doing sort of a game, doing some simple things to have that interactivity, then engagement, so that you interact more, you engage more with the brand, and that's where gamification will allow you to do that. So that's one area of gamification, future of gaming. The other one, Kevin, you touch on is VR. I want to just say this. VR was something that I'm totally skeptical about. I didn't believe in it. I regarded VR as what you call that, 3D glasses, 3D TV, right? Gimmick. Anyone still uses 3D TV? Are they selling? From day one, I saw it. I'm not going to wear 3D glasses just to watch my 3D TV. So I don't think that caught on, right? So I regarded VR gaming as the same as 3D TV, but boy, was I so wrong. A friend invited me to try VR, the Oculus thingy. It is so realistic. Seriously, the difference with VR and other gaming is really there's no horizon. It's all around you, right? You don't see the edges of the screen. Wherever you look, it's the game world. And I remember playing this particular game that involves you doing rock climbing. And I have acrophobia, fear of heights. So I remember when I was playing that game, my mind is telling myself, no, don't jump, no, you're not going to reach that. And when you fall in that game, you really feel like, because I have this deep-ridden fear, right, of heights, right? I tell you, I was like really sweating in my palms. My mind is telling me this is fake. I'm not going to fall. But somehow your subconscious is tricking you to tell you that it's the real thing, which is why you have that natural body reaction of having a sweaty palm and all that. So I think the future of gaming, we're just starting, right? Let's not talk about esports because everyone knows how big that market is, and not just esports, all the peripherals, all your gaming mouse. Back when computers first started, nobody talked about gaming mouse. Razer is one of those biggest brands now, right? Nobody talked about gaming headsets, gaming whatever, right? Nobody talked about all those. Just those hardware alone, the market is huge. And future.
Just jump in real quick and
sure.
interrupt you. If people don't think about it, the gamers were so ahead of the people. Right now, all the business folks like ourselves, we're doing Zoom calls and utilizing mics and, different things, headphones, and it's all like new to these business folks. Remember, the gaming world these kids were doing that way before you guys. Zoom is not new. People were interacting like kids, like 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds, and their headsets are so much better than the headset. Business people are now wearing gamer headsets, and you see them using gamer mics and stuff, and it's kind of funny because it's almost like reversing, right? So used to, even myself, right? I kind of look at gaming's kind of for kids, I didn't really pay attention to it. And then now, like, it's got my attention a little more because I see there is monetary shifts happening, right? Even like you guys were saying, everything from trading to the future, like the Oculus. I think VR really changes things, right? Because from a digital marketing standpoint, we've been looking at, so I have a production team and we do a lot of video work. So we've been looking at like, hey, QR codes and allowing people to experience like the coffee shops and stuff. But instead of taking them to just some fake video, what if you can take them to a virtual world and get to walk through the coffee shop, like a 3D experience. And I think that's where websites will go to, it's happening.
It's already happening. Yeah, it's already happening. There are VR tours of museums and all that, right? That was from gaming.
And I think what happens is when the VR prices start dropping like now, right? This Christmas, so many friends and families got the Oculus, Wow. And it becomes kind of like the Google voice in your house. Everyone has one now, and it's like, hey, Google, hey, Alexa. So I think eventually everyone will have Oculus, and especially with COVID, I know everyone thinks 2021 COVID's over, but I want to break news. It's not over. Okay. So I think people are going to look for experiences. And I think that's where that gaming world, the VR people, there's a huge market right there, so.
Yeah. And I could be wrong. I think the first adopters of gaming, video gaming, VR, simulation, all this kind of simulation is actually the military. Just like how internet was born, it's the military. Right, they needed some form of simulation for training that's safe, And I think with the current trends, and I think the gaming industry just took it to a whole different level. So yeah, there are business values in creating simulation. That's just for military, right? It's not exactly business, but that's a commercial application, right? Of gaming, training, VR for training. So where was I? Oh yeah, so. Esports, it's been around for so long, and it's just mainstream now. And I used to play a lot of StarCraft, and I used to watch a lot of these VR broadcasts. Those gaming league broadcasts. And I tell you, my gosh, those professionals, the things they can do is just incredible, just incredible. Just a short story. I used to play a lot, and the only thing I like to play about with this kind of real-time strategy games, I only play with people. Because like Audric said, I like that strategy part. I'm competing with a human. I know on the other end it's not a computer, because after a while, you know how the computer algorithm works. You know how to ambush the units, all that kind of thing. But when you play against a human, my God, the options and all the strategies are all different. Those are the things I like to do on this kind of real-time strategy game. But long story short, I actually was playing with a Korean pro gamer in StarCraft 2. There was once, and I know because his handle was a variation of his professional handle. So I asked him, "Are you so and so?" He said, "Yes." So I said, "Why are you playing a random game with somebody like me?" Right? and he was saying, "Oh, I'm just waiting for the next game. I'm just waiting for the next game." So obviously, I was like so honored, right? Wow, fanboy or shocked. I'm playing with this guy. So obviously, I got trashed within 10 minutes. And in StarCraft 2, there's a measurement that's called APM. It stands for actions per minute. Kenneth knows this. Actions per minute. It's the measurement of how many clicks, how many orders you can issue within a minute. Okay? Because I'm so old, my twitch reflexes are bad, even though I have one of the best gaming mouses. My APM at best, if I really am just totally stretched out, flat out, maybe I'll touch 100 APM. 100 actions per minute. This guy, he's a pro. He's hitting 300 plus, close to 400, which means for every order I issue to the unit, move from point to point B, he's doing it 3 times. So crazy. That's how incredible these people are in esports. And another thing about esports, it's something like it's really like football, professional football, right? you need to start really young, because I think once you are above 25 or something, you're considered old, right? Just like football, because your reflexes, everything changes. And in esports, they have these training houses, like especially in Korea, where they're most famous for. It's just like your K-pop groups right now, right? They lock you down in, and you do training from day to night. But instead of dance moves, you train just playing the whole day, teamwork and all that. Oh yeah, that's the other thing, right? What you learn from business, teamwork. That's another thing you learn from gaming, working as a team. There's a lot of team-oriented games these days as well. So so future of gaming, just too much to cover. But if I have to go back to my field in terms of retail, the gamification part is real. The application of AR and VR to help retailers is real, because that helps a different level of engagement, especially with the COVID situation. It brings the imagination back to where closer to you. And I think brands will have a lot to learn and capitalize on, to look at gaming to help them sell better in retail. So Kenneth, over to you. I think I've spoken too much.
You can take my airtime. It's fine.
Yeah,
I'm really taking Kevin's.
No, I'm not good on this subject, so go by all means.
Yeah, go ahead.
Same here, man.
Tim, before you came on, I told them it's gonna be a mega episode all by myself.
That's good. That's
The
good.
German show.
Jeremy show. It can be a monologue,
No.
right?
No, Kenneth, go ahead.
I think the point about gamification that you mentioned about the health promotion apps for the steps. So I like to bring up the example and compare it to Pokemon Go. So on one hand, we have a whole a statutory board trying to push in Singapore, push people to
Healthy
actually
lifestyle.
go and take more steps.
Yeah.
And they are giving out monetary rewards every week, I believe. $5 vouchers to go to the supermarket and get stuff, right? Just for hitting 10,000 steps every single day for a week. But on the other hand, you have Pokemon Go, where people are willingly going out to get a virtual non-existent thing like this Pokemon to catch it, and it's not even guaranteed. You may not even catch the Pokemon. And then I think Pokemon Go even went a step further. They gave you eggs, and the only way to hatch the eggs is to go and walk. So,
5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers, right?
So people are walking to hatch eggs, and it's the reward is virtual, and not only that, it's not guaranteed. You have no idea what's going to hatch. So on one hand, we are giving out monetary rewards. On the other hand, people are going out of their own free will to hatch eggs. Right?
Yeah.
So I think the gamification really works. And it's one way other than just giving out a tangible reward. This is really, if you put it in a way, it's intangible.
So we need to incorporate gamification into our pandemic. How we can come out of the pandemic. So we need to have rewards where if you wear your mask, it fills up, right?
I get a free egg.
Take 3 vaccination. Take 3 vaccination shots and you get a free egg.
Yep. Instead of the U.S. where they give you $600, you can earn more money if you do certain things.
Yeah, I think because it's all behavioral psychology, right? It's all about psychology in this sense. It's always easy to say I give you a reward and you do something, but now how do you get rid of that tangible reward and get people to do things or influence them to do something? And personally, I wouldn't say VR would be the future. I think AR or MR might be the future. So Pokemon Go, that's AR, where you could see the Pokemon in the space, but it could be very well that there's someone standing there and the Pokemon's on them. That's AR, but MR is slightly different in that if there is something in that space, the Pokemon or whatever cannot appear. So there must be the actual physical space. So it's sort of like those interior design apps where if you want to place a sofa there, it must be an actual empty space. So that will be more MR. And that I believe will be the future because of the immersion. So VR is very immersive already. I came from the time in the military where I was in one of those armored vehicles. So they put us in this little cave for training. Oh yeah, you too. Okay. Then, but VR has evolved from that, right? So now it's really those VR goggles. But I think the future will be MR, where you play a game, you might be in the real world, so you actually may see the things. You may be shooting, maybe your country is under attack, and then you have aliens coming down. I've even heard of those running apps these days, which is based on the maps of your actual city. So if you're running in a certain city, they'll say, "Oh, the zombies are here. Make a right. Make a right now." Then you have to turn right because it's linked to your actual map. But imagine MR goggles and you're going running, and you actually see the zombies chasing you rather than just hearing it. I think that will motivate a lot of people to do running and get fit, right?
Faster. Run faster.
Yeah. So I think the MR will be the future of gaming, and I really hope to live to see that day.
You can take my airtime, Jeremy, if you need.
No, I've done that already.
I don't have much to say.
I'll go, Aldrich. The future
Go
of
ahead.
gaming, the future of gaming is what these guys said. Because I am lost. I mean, my extent of gaming is I play a little bit of Nintendo Switch with my daughter. AR, VR, MR. This is like Greek to me at this moment. So I'm learning as I'm hearing you guys, but I am not educated enough to speak on the topic.
But I think it's interesting because the amount of money I spent during Christmas on games. These things aren't cheap, man. Animal Crossing is like $60 USD.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I was like, come on, guys, you guys are 8 years old. Can you? Well, I keep trying to convince my kid on Paw Patrol. And he's like, that's not fun, Dad. I go, you're 8. Paw Patrol's fun. It's on discount. It's $19.99. Let's get Paw Patrol. And it's like, well, these kids are way too advanced. So in my mind, I'm already thinking, man, if he wants a $60 game when he's 8, what happens when he's 12 or 14?
He's gonna want $1,000 gaming laptop. Well, by that time, it's gonna be $1,500.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I think every day, we play a game called life, and so that's enough gaming for me. So, and I play with a lot of virtual scenarios, and every day I lose, and my coins go down. So, and I'm trying to figure out, how I can talk to the right people so that I can gain my coins back. So if you guys are out there right now, and you want to pay me for services, hey, I'm right here, guys. I'm playing a game called Life, so you guys can all participate.
Yeah, but Kevin, the difference between your game and my game is that I can go and shoot people at ATMs. You can't. Okay, don't do that in your game.
Don't do that in my game.
And there's a lot of virtue in the game Animal Crossing for your kids because you start with a debt. So it's something like starting your life with a student debt. I think there's a bit of education there that you can work around into while they're playing Animal Crossing and get your $60 worth back or more than your $60 worth back because there are life lessons there that they can learn. Really.
No, but
I'm serious.
Like these kids are like, I have children and they're stuck on their screens, and if you let them, they'll do it all day. Like, look at it like from morning till night. Like my kids have no interest in let's go play outside. Let's go do something.
Okay, so that's the bad side of having a gamer as your dad because I let my kids do it all day. Sometimes I do it with them all day, and then my wife goes, no, bring them out for whatever, cycling or that. I'm like, no, nobody wants to do that. So there's a flip side.
What will the world? Hey, you're in academics, Kenneth. So what will the world look like with these kids if they invest so much time on their tablets and games? And do you guys talk about that in this university for the future?
I mean, back in the day, people were burying their heads in the newspapers, right? It's just a different platform. Back I think in my younger days, there used to be the free newspapers and stuff that were handed out at the train stations or at the bus stops. Everyone on the bus was burying their heads in the newspaper or reading the newspaper. Now instead of a newspaper, they're looking at a screen. So
Yeah.
Everyone will find something to bury their heads into. People are tuning out the outside world with the Walkman. Then we went on to the Walkman, this man. And now we have wireless headphones.
iPods, yeah. AirPods.
AirPods. You don't even know that they're plugged in. I'm wearing them now.
Oh, I couldn't tell.
Yeah. So I think people will always find something to bury their heads in. It's just keeping up the times, I guess. Of course, I still see the value of going outside, because if the younger generation or the children don't go outside and actually see nature for its in reality, how can we expect them to actually really care for the nature? It becomes an abstract concept. Let's care for the environment. But if they see a tree, or the water getting dirty and stuff like that because of pollution, then they actually see it for themselves. Or if they go swimming at the beach and then it's trash everywhere, they come out of the water and they're covered in like little bits of plastic. Then they actually experience it for themselves. So I still see value in the real world, but more and more I still feel that we still have to keep up the times. People will always bury themselves in distractions, regardless of whether the distraction was digital, virtual, or physical, I guess.
That's really good. And I think it's so true, like even for myself, right? I think for the first time so I've been social distancing. I'm pretty strict. So like to the point where some people think I'm like a little cuckoo. Like but like people think like this guy's a little extreme, Like
No, it's prudence.
Since March, I've been home, and we go out to buy groceries, and we explored going out to eat a little bit with my son and stuff. But I make sure like I go when the restaurants are really slow, not during rush hour, and I go to buy groceries at night, right? And a lot of people go, hey, they feel like I'm extreme. I haven't really seen people. I don't see my team at work. I do everything virtual because I don't feel there's a need to. But at the same time, now that, January is coming around, I have to say it has affected now I'm like a little more hungry for like relationship, right? Real life relationship, And it's like, man, it's getting tougher, especially during the winter months. It's cold in the US. And then there's that, hey, I miss, going just shopping or just doing things with having people over, company meetings. I actually miss meetings. I never missed them before, So like for about a year, I was like, man, this is really cool. Just do everything on Zoom. But now I'm so Zoom out. It's like, man, this is hard now. Now I kind of miss the boring long meetings at work, with my staff and my team and not being around them. So I think what Kenneth said is so true. We're humans, and I don't know if the virtual world will ever take over, because I think we're hungry for real relationships. And I think we're seeing it now on all these social media platforms. We're seeing it even in our own Bottoms Up Perspective show, right? At first, everyone's like all about, hey, let's jump on live shows, right? And you see all these live shows happening, and slowly one live show goes away, another goes away, and then the engagement slows down. But it's all because we crave real human interactions. And I don't think they'll ever replace that, right? So I think there's a sense of you can only do so much in front of a screen, where I really want to go meet Tim. It's going to be different when I see Tim in Philly and sit down for coffee, or go take a walk in Singapore with Eldrick and Jeremy, or visit Kenneth's university. I don't think that's ever going to be replaced. And I think the future of gaming, I think, there's definitely a market there, right? But I don't think I'll ever take over like our lives, right? So, so for next week is episode 41, and we don't know what we could talk about yet, right?
Gaming again? Gaming part 2?
But none of us are going to be on but Jeremy.
I was about to say, so it's just going to be Jeremy's podcast. Jeremy's
on gaming.
In January, we get the whole year of bottoms up gaming. And it's just Jeremy. Now, but next year, our goal is to make our show a lot more engaging, a lot more different, because I feel we never want bottoms up to be just static. So we really want to engage with the audience, make it interactive, because at the end of the day, we want to do this is because we love the people in our community. And our goal is to, hey, how can we enrich lives? How can we, the pandemic's hard. And like, even for me, I told Jen, we took last week off during Christmas. And it's almost like this is the only time I interact with people outside of my family. So it was weird. Like I didn't do bottoms up. And then this week I was actually excited to just see you guys because it allows me to interact with people outside of work, Like to me, this isn't work. This is just hang out with my community and friends I've met on LinkedIn. And and I think people need that. It helped me push through 2020. And, I think it's much needed in 2021 as well. So I'm excited. And we're actually going to have a meeting after this with our crew. And we go talk about like, hey, what are better ways to engage? And we look forward to rolling it out next week and talk to you guys all about it. So, and Kenneth, thank you so much tonight for joining us. And I want to ask you, do you actually know how to fish?
Yeah, I do. But I don't do fly fishing. Fly fishing is too difficult, right? It's too. I do the usual fishing and stuff. Yeah.
You fish?
Spit the spinning rods. Yeah, I don't do the fly fishing.
So is the gaming fishing almost the same?
No.
The fly fishing is a lot harder in real life. I've seen the people because they need to cast the fly. The spinning rods are a lot easier to use. That's why I use them.
No. But, I'm talking about the virtual, like the game fishing.
Oh, it's
versus the real one.
I haven't gotten so much fish in real life.
The only reason I'm asking this, Kenneth, is my 8-year-old's been wanting to go fishing. So if I can sucker him into the game fishing, it will save because and money, and I don't want to buy a fishing pole. I don't want to go venture into the cold.
Oh yes, it's cold where you are, right?
So I'm like, hey, if the game fishing works, well, I'll go game fishing with them.
Kevin, there is fishing as an activity in Animal Crossing. There you go, your $60. Just paid back.
Maximize your Animal Crossing purchase. Yeah.
Awesome.
I just want to add one point. Okay. I just want to wrap this all around. Be like Kenneth. Not me, because I think I'm just like unbalanced in terms of gaming. But I know Kenneth is very balanced because I follow his posts, right? He does fishing, other physical activities like cycling and all that. So be like him, okay? Don't be like me. Despite me promoting all the benefits of gaming and all that, there is a flip side, because to your question, right? What's the future? How are the new generation going to go and all that? I do think there's a flip side in terms of interaction. I think I'm slightly different because I'm an extrovert, so I do a lot of gaming, recluse, like hermit, but I can still interact with people. But I don't think a lot of young kids are able to interact like I do at my level, that kind of thing, because they are maybe too stuck to gaming or something. So my point is this: as with everything else, always have a balance. Okay, so I just want to close it at. So sorry for
convincing coming from
sorry for stealing that. No, I admit I'm a bad case, but to everyone else there, as with everything, have a balance. And sorry, Kenneth, if I stole your last closing bit. Maybe you want to finish with how we can find you, because I'm definitely going to look for you after this, right? Maybe have tea with you and your professor who's in gaming, and then we can talk about our passionate topic offline, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I guess it's easier to find me on LinkedIn. I'm Kenneth Chan, or Instagram. It's the Uncle Chan with underscores for spaces. Yeah.
And you put out a lot of videos as well.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just find me on LinkedIn. They're all there.
Well, everyone, I know in Asia, a lot of you are probably getting ready for New Year's Eve tonight. And, and for us in the US, it's going to be tomorrow. And that's probably why we probably have less of an audience, because everyone's getting ready to ring in the exciting 2021, where it's going to be not COVID free yet. So,
but there is hope. There is hope
now. So, anyway, Happy New Year's.
Yes, Happy New Year.
Bye, lots.
See you in
Thanks for the
2021.
support. Yeah, see you in 2021. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
See you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Hey, thanks, Kenneth.